Round number 2, stop number 2 of the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series in the race for the Bob Earl Racing seat is now at Phoenix International Raceway, the Valley of the Sun, located between Phoenix and Avondale, Arizona. And ETV Live, powered by the HD Radio Network, is set to give you flag-to-flag coverage. I'm Wesley Outland, and joining me in the booth, as always, Michael Keaton. What's up, Batman? And I'll tell you what, after Daytona last week, there was some exciting racing, finish under caution, and now we set our sights on round number 2. And it should always be an exciting event in a new car, finally, the Gen 6 car. We're running that tonight, too, also.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike Montesi picking up the Daytona win there last week with the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series. Tonight, he's 18th quickest on the board in practice so far. So we'll see if the points leader can hang on to it after a tough night here at Phoenix International Raceway, set for 125 laps, Wes.
Can you hear me? We're getting ready for them to grid for 125 laps around Phoenix International Raceway. It should be an exciting event as Michael Keaton, they're getting ready to grid, and we'll get ready to give you that starting lineup. Before we do, Michael Keaton, let's throw it down to Dakota Ehrman. Dakota Ehrman, what's your thoughts of the Gen 6 cars so far as we get ready to go racing here tonight?
Well, it's definitely going to be interesting to see a new car. A lot of people are really liking this car, especially a lot of the drivers. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Especially with just everything seems to be new damage mount, everything. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and this track itself can eat up the tires. This track can be a very difficult track, and we're going to see that tonight, but I think it's the perfect place to start off with the Gen 6 here at Real Sim Racing.
Starting lineup, here we go. Race number 2 of RSR Full Throttle Cup Series on the pole. Dwayne Vincent to his outside. It's going to be Eric Brundles. Row number 2, Michael Keaton.
Ronnie Potts starts third tonight. C.J. LeVere in the 4-car outside.
Leading that Daytona, got taken out at about midway point. Angelo Cordino in the 49 Detroit Red Wings colors. He'll start 5th, and Jonathan Goodell starts 6th.
Rick McBride 7th tonight. R.J. Williams in the 8th spot.
Then you're going to have Steve Ritter starting 9th, Chris Schallenberger 10th.
Mike King 11th, Ben Burnett 12th.
Chad Cole will start 13th in the 8th, followed by Matt Lacrosse in the 14th.
15th, Steve Goschek to his outside, Jay Horton.
Continuing on, Jay Horton, after him is David Lanza, followed by John Abbott. And then we're going to round out the top 20 of Kel Dresbach and Justin Wilson. Run out the rundown real quickly, Michael Keaton, as we get ready to come to green.
John Hanna Jr. starts 21st, Glenn Campbell, White Wolf Jr., Joey Katina 24th, Scott Brotherton, Michael Gray, Rich Jett 27th, Adam Roberts 28th, Eric Arnold, Guy Snyder, Jimmy North 31st, Chad Schilling, Nathan Bowers, J. Randall Watkins, 35th belongs to Doug Roth, Ed Williams Jr., White Wolf, Keith Brooks Jr., Douglas Wyatt, Mike Montesi starts 40th, Joseph Hayes 41st, Stephen Herring 42nd, and last but not least, trying to get gridded now is Mike Skinner as they go green.
And the green flag goes in the air. We're underway here at Phoenix International Raceway, 125 laps around this tight mile track. Already Eric Brundles getting sideways of the 94 car, and he's in the wall. Everybody slows down. They zigzag top to bottom. In the middle is Brundles' car, and caution's out over the Speedway, not even one lap in.
Not just a little bit loose going into turn 1 there. Got a bump from C.J. LeVere. That was just enough to send that blue and yellow Chevrolet around in turn 1, as you mentioned, Wes. And everyone doing a fantastic job going up high, down low, through the middle, spreading the eagle, and not getting caught up in that wreck, which we see so many times. The guy that's out front gets caught, gets wrecked, and then everybody else just tends to pile on in the wreck, but not here tonight. That's the good news for a lot of these drivers.
Back to pit road, Dakota Ehrman. Dakota, could this new Gen 6 car be causing the issues of this caution early in the going?
Well, I got to say, it's going to be in the driver's hands. It's not quite the car. They've had plenty of practice with the car, and that wasn't, quite the car's fault. It could be maybe a little bit, but it drives somewhat similar to the old car. So I wouldn't put this on the driver. I would put this, or not on the car, but I'd put this more on the driver, or maybe some just impatient drivers in the field already, guys.
So the caution out over the Speedway, not even one lap into it. They'll get them all back in the right order. We'll get ready to go back for the restart here, as this should be a quick yellow. I don't see anybody that looks to come to pit road this early in the going, Michael.
Absolutely, Wes. It's real early. We might see Eric Brundy's that brought out that caution come down pit road to fix a little bit of that damage. But, you know, at the beginning of the broadcast, we talked about that Bob Earl racing seat. You know, last year, Lennon Huffman, the 2012 Series champion, bringing that cockpit home with him. And then this year, again, back on board for the 2013 Full Throttle Cup Series. Again, Bob Earl's cockpit racing. And, you know, the guy really knows what he's doing, Wes. Used to be a championship race car driver, and then who better to design a racing cockpit than an actual race car driver? I mean, Bob knows exactly what it's like to be behind a cockpit of a real race car. He wants you to feel the exact same way at the comfort of your home, and now he built one for you, and you can get one at BobEarlRacing.com.
Absolutely, and of course, who will be the next driver to win that Bob Earl racing seat? And remember, Landon Huffman now getting ready for the NASCAR DWC, the Driver World Championship, which is the NASCAR sanctioned program, but getting ready for that big deal. So, you know, once you make it to that level and you excel past the RSR, and you know, he's got that Bob Earl racing seat as a comfy cockpit to prepare him for that coming up very soon. But this Gen 6 car, a new prototype machine that is new to RSR. Matter of fact, I thought there was going to be some extensive testing, and then all of a sudden, Michael Keaton, they announced last week, this just in, we're going to run the Gen 6 car after Daytona.
Yeah, and rightfully so, Wes. You know, this car has been the talk of the town, I guess you could say, in the iRacing world. From the car engine, the way it sounds, the way it looks, the realistic aspect of it, and the fact that the guys right now in the real NASCAR world is using these type vehicles, it only makes sense for the RSR Cup Series here to present this. And I know that they probably wish they would have kicked it off in Daytona, but the car was not released yet, and now that it is released, I think they wanted to get it out as soon as possible.
And I understand we got some netcode issues on Joseph Hayes' entry, and it's been the second time that he has been warned by the RSR officials to get up to netcode and be ready to rock and roll and go back racing again. Anyhow, we're getting ready for the pace car to drop back onto pit road as we get ready to go back for restart number 1 here for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series at Phoenix. Through the gearboxes, the loud pedal punch, they go into turn 1, and Dwayne Vincent sets off into the corner. Goodell second, Potts third, Corradino fourth, Williams your top 5. Let's get some racing under our belts, Keaton, before we have another yellow there on the backstretch.
Absolutely, and look who's up front, Jonathan Goodell in that number 11 machine, starting 6th tonight, already up to 2nd, so 4 spots to the good for him as he tries to run down the race leader who's just put 6 laps on the board, Dwayne Vincent. That's caution once again for the second time on the Speedway, and Nathan Bowers, I believe, is going to be the root of this one in 27th position.
Bauer's car has blew up. He's definitely got an engine malfunction on his number 85 entry, and the caution is out again. And I understand we got some more updates of what happened. Now let's go to pit road, Dakota Ehrman.
Yeah, guys, I'm actually watching. It was the 12 with Douglas Wyatt back there in 31st position. Looks like he goes low and maybe throws the car too low and gets a little loose, goes to the grass, comes up and takes out. I believe it's Nathan Bowers and spins Nathan from the field there, guys.
So the stoner, Douglas Wyatt, in the Hippies Paint Shop entry, number 12, hitting with the 85 car of Bowers' entry, and of course that caused him to now have engine malfunctions on Nathan Bowers' 85 car. And Michael Keaton, just as fast as we got a lap under our belt, we're now under caution, and so far we've ran 8 laps total, and 7 have been under yellow.
Yeah, you know, I guess part of the new package here tonight, the new car that they've got displayed on the racetrack here at Phoenix International Raceway for you tonight, that it's going to get some it's going to get some time to get it under your belt and get it used to, you know. But this is a car that I believe is the future, and we remember a couple of years ago, Wes, NASCAR implemented the car of tomorrow, the COT, and that really didn't work out too well. And then now we've got this, and I believe that this is where it's at. I mean, this is a new type car, and in a flat track like Phoenix, you got to wonder how long will it take for these guys to get comfortable with it.
Absolutely. Under caution, I think we're going to go to a quick commercial break and go ahead and get them out of the way. We'll get ready for the restart and hopefully a long green flag run here with the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series. From Phoenix International Raceway, this is ETV Live, powered by the HD Radio Network, the leader in sim broadcasting. Under caution, Dwayne Vincent leads. Just back to the green flag, ETV Live, powered by HD Radio Network, coverage from iRacing and the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series. Stop number 2 in the race for the Marlboro Racing seat from Phoenix International Raceway. Wesley Outley and Michael Keaton up top side in the booth, and joining us on pit road, the ETV All-Star Pit Reporter of Dakota Earman. Dwayne Vincent back out in front one more time. We have been working a couple more laps since after the green flag, and what do you know? Looks like we've got caution back out. No, we're not. We're still under the green flag. Looks like the second and third place cars got a little antsy banging with one another, and now that allowed Ritter and Burnett, they were battling Michael Keaton, and that allowed Potts and Williams to get by them. And I'll tell you another driver that's coming through the field outside the top 5. I'm watching that 16 of Steve Ritter. It's been a while since he's went to victory lane. Could tonight be the night we see him? But for the moment, Dwayne Vincent is out in front.
Yeah, and Wes, I mentioned before that last caution that Phoenix, how flat of a racetrack it is. Just 10 to 12 degrees banking in turns 1 and 2. And then in 3 and 4, 8 to 9 degrees banking. Very, very flat racetrack, only a 3-degree bank on the front. But on the back, it kind of gives us a different sort of feeling. It's 10 to 12 banking, the same as 1 and 2. So this is a very flat racetrack, which calls for a lot of brakes. Probably we're seeing somewhere up between the 70 and 80 mark in the brake bias. So these guys, brakes, they're hot and heavy and heating them rotors up.
And Dakota Ehrman, bottom line is this, tires are what win races, but also you got to learn how to save your brakes as well, because if you overdo it, you're going to have brake issues in the race and definitely going to not be there at the end as well.
I don't think the brake problems are as much an issue in this Gen 6 car here. A lot of the guys have got it really figured out to where the brakes won't become a problem later in a race. The only thing is, if you overuse them in the corners, you can easily turn yourself around, and that's what you got to watch for, especially here at Phoenix. But right now, everybody, what we're watching for here is coming off the corners. These guys are complaining about very loose conditions, so we'll see these guys sliding a lot, and that will most likely be the cause of a lot of cautions here tonight, guys.
125 laps around Phoenix International Raceway, and Dwayne Vincent's currently the man that is out in front, but I'm watching this great battle inside the top 10, outside it as well. Mike King in the 04 Chevrolet just makes the pass on Rhett McBride's car. He gets a little sideways, cross-checked into the corner. Here comes Matt LaCrosse with help on the inside of that black and white number 21 car. As here comes the solid black 15 of Rhett McBride trying to run down Mike King one more time. That race is pretty heated going on into turn 3, Michael.
Absolutely. And, Wes, 43 drivers, actually 42 taking the field tonight. Believe Mike Skinner could not get that engine fired up, and he had to stay down on pit road. But 42 drivers around a really, really small racetrack, Wes, only 1 mile, and again, the banking here is so low that it calls for some good racing. And I think that's what we're seeing here for the battle in 10th position as Rhett McBride starts to close back in the door of that number 2, Ronnie Potts.
Yeah, definitely. He's trying to reel him back in, and we got the 04 car of Mike King giving us a little scare just a moment ago, getting sideways. Now he'll gather it back in. Rhett McBride's on his door, and here comes David Lanza in the 33 car trying to run down Matt LaCrosse. That is for positions 10th through 13th. Great racing going on around the racetrack as we finally got a pretty good green flag run in, Michael.
Back in the 23rd and 24th position, the 23 belonging to the 83 Chevrolet of Jay Horton battling with Eric Arnold. Also, C.J. LeVere stuck in the middle in the 70 of Michael Gray as he exits off 4. C.J. LeVere a little loose, and that pink Chevrolet saves it though, West, down the front stretch.
Yeah, that was scary. And we got problems in front of C.J. LeVere. Jay Horton in the 83 car has got spun, and he is off the pace, getting passed by the rest of the field. And no caution yet, though. We will stay under the green flag. No yellow is out yet. Jay Horton sideways was able to keep it going. RSR officials felt that there was no need to throw caution, and we are still green light on here around Phoenix, with the man out in front still, the pumpkin, the Cobra, Dwayne Vincent in the 13.
We could have just seen some of what the drivers have been complaining about already early on here at Phoenix, West. The bottom groove starting to get a little slippery, and Jay Horton, of course, on that bottom lane there towards the bottom, got a little loose, got up into the high bank there, or the low bank, but high up on the racetrack in the corner, and almost went around on him, and luckily Jay Horton slung that right side back around and saved it.
I want to throw out some plugs while we are broadcasting here. We talked about that VRC MK2 virtual racing seat. Well, let's tell you about Inside Sim Racing. They sponsor the Thursday program along with Derek Spear Designs and the Real Sim Racing nationwide V-Car program. Inside Sim Racing is your first and best choice for all the news and reviews and online motorsports. You can join Darren Kanji and Sean Cole for the latest and greatest in product reviews, simulation, auto racing games for PZs, and the Xbox crowd. From steering wheels to full-size racing wheels, updates online auto racing, Inside Sim Racing, and we've got problems on the racetrack. That's Inside Sim Racing. Car 70, Michael Gray, into the wall. He collects a couple of more cars. He was in the 25th spot, and the caution flag is out, Michael Keaton, for the 3rd time.
Coming out of turn 2, Dakota mentioned it earlier, loose conditions out of the corners. Michael Gray got a little loose. The 5 got into the left rear quarter panel. John Hanna Jr. did. Sent John down into the grass on the back stretch, but nonetheless, Michael Gray not so lucky, going end over end, ripping the front bumper off of that machine as he comes to a complete stop in turn 3.
Don't we call that an e-ticket ride?
Yeah, he took one
I think he got himself
ride,
one.
Wes.
Absolutely. Tough break. The e-ticket ride for the 70 of Michael Gray. And, man, it seems like he struggled throughout last year and the end of last year and going in the first couple of races this week. You really want to turn things around. But good run going. I'm going to tell you somebody else that's really impressed me. Normally you see this man behind the wheel of a 26 car. Not tonight. He's in the Virginia's 11. Jonathan Goodell in a good spot, sitting in second. But meanwhile, early pit stops on lap 26, 99 laps remaining in this 125-lap affair at Richmond, and they're hitting pit road early in front of you, Dakota Ehrman.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, guys, almost everybody, I'm seeing maybe one car staying out, and I believe he might have a little bit of damage, but Dwayne Vincent leading almost everybody down pit road here, coming to the first stall, going to come stop. Should be 4 tires there. I think we can see a little bit of strategy here. Phoenix is all about track position, so you might see 2 tires, you might see 4, and that's what we're watching for here. Is I believe the left sides are going up on Dwayne Vincent's car. Somebody's rolling out pretty quickly here. We're going to have a battle off pit road. It's going to be R.J. Williams going from 3rd to 1st, guys.
R.J. Williams, Michael Keaton in the ETV Live 75 on 3rd pit road, comes off with the lead.
And that's really going to put Jonathan Goodell in a really good spot, going to move him up to 3rd. He's going to be on that inside lane, and Dwayne Vincent's going to be up there in that high lane. Unfamiliar territory, as Dwayne Vincent has led all but the lap last time, or this time by, as he'll fall back to 2nd now. But a little bit of a story on the 11 machine that you mentioned earlier, Jonathan Goodell, Wes, started back in 1997 with NASCAR 2, and the GNSEP stuck with Manly Papyrus Games, but dabbled into the SCGT for a while. He started league racing in 2004 with the NR2K3 series, and got iRacing the same year, but didn't complete in a league until 2012. 18 career wins and 1 championship at American Sim Racing Series, 27 official wins in iRacing. So Jonathan Goodell, as far as iRacing's concerned, hasn't been racing that long, and here he is sitting 4th now on the racetrack in the Full Throttle Cup Series.
Well, let's just retract that. He's been running sim races a long time, but not been running the iRacing program, especially RSR. But one thing for certain, he knows how to be a winner and get it done.
Yeah, and, you know, being from Hampton, Virginia, Wes, a lot of race fans and race car drivers are from Virginia, and, of course, sponsors Strutmasters.com Chevrolet, the 11 of Jonathan Goodell. Like I mentioned, he only has 27 career official wins in iRacing, but I know he wants more. And tonight, Phoenix, you know, running in 2nd spot for a little bit, running 4th now. I think tonight, if he can keep the 4 corners of that car clean, Phoenix might be not so bad after all.
But for the time being, it was the black and red Lionel Racing Chevrolet of Dwayne Vincent out in front. But with the caution flag out, everything cycles back around, and the ETV Live Hellman's Mayonnaise Chevrolet of Ed Williams Jr. will now go to the point for the restart. You've got Ed Williams Jr. first, R.J. Williams is second. Are they of any relations? I don't think they are, Michael Keaton.
No, I don't think so either. Other than the fact
just
that
circumstance of coincidence, exactly. Just circumstance of coincidence. So, I understand Ed Williams is out there telling his spotters and he's telling the other leaders to please be patient. He's going to get out of the way, I believe, is what we're going to see, or maybe not. He'll fall back on the inside for the restart, and R.J. Williams hits the loud pedal on the outside lane, begins to set sail from, here we go. R.J. Williams out in front, Ed Williams Jr. and company sitting back behind him. Here comes Vincent, Goodell, Burnett, all in a mix of one another. The 11 car jumping out in front. Meanwhile, Williams 65, Ed Williams' car gets out of the draft, pulls to the bottom of the racetrack, and here comes the field flying by on the outside. Michael Keaton out of turn 2.
And the leader, R.J. Williams, West, taken out to a big lead as Jonathan Goodell nearly half of a turn away from him in 2nd, but Mike King in that 04 is coming within about 2 car lengths coming out of turn 4 of the 2nd place machine, Jonathan Goodell.
Little sideways action trouble. Red McBride goes into the wall. He collects the 44 Glenn Campbell, and it blocks the path. Daytona-style wreck on the front straightaway. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars involved. It started with McBride. He turned to the outside wall. He collected Glenn Campbell. Glenn Campbell goes for an E-ticket ride. And then the big one in turn 1 here in Phoenix. And that was a super Speedway style wreck right there, Michael Keaton. We should have saw that at Daytona. It shifted on to the next week here in Phoenix.
Yeah, and that's just an unfortunate circumstance to be caught up with. Michael Wilson also involved with that wreck as well, Wes, and it kind of looked like 15 of Brett McBride started to slow up for Ed Williams Jr., who was just trying to get out of the way, and it kind of did that accordion effect there, and man, it really piled them up going into 1.
Big trouble on pit road, Dakota Ehrman. Who you think's going to the garage area? What are they saying on the radios?
We'll definitely watch it for the 15 machine of Brett McBride to see what he does. I believe he will at least come down here as he is on pit road. So we're going to see. I believe a lot of these guys are going to try to stay in here and at least try to get some points, and try to get the cars back out on track. I don't see many people pulling off too quickly here. I do know Ed Williams. We might see him, Ed Williams Jr., come down pit road, probably go to the back after staying out last time just to get bonus points for leading a lap. And as you saw, he went backwards in a hurry and kind of got a little way in the field there. But Brett McBride, yeah, he's got right side going up. They're definitely going to try to work on that car. I believe he will go a lap down, but just going to try to rack up some points here is what's on the mind of a lot of these drivers.
And, of course, we're not going to see those other contenders that just came to pit road a couple of minutes ago, Michael Keaton, come in because they've got new rubber. They've got their tanks full. They've got what adjustments need to be made. How are they adapting to this Gen 6 car? That's the question. Is these wrecks happening because of the car itself?
Well, they just got these things. iRacing just released the package, Dakota, less than a week? A couple days ago?
Yeah, I believe it was actually about a week ago. I want to say the 26th of February. Last Tuesday. And so these cars haven't been out very long, but a lot of people really fell in love with these cars, and I don't say that lightly. I mean, there's some people that definitely really like these cars. And they seem to be alright. I mean, I didn't get too much into it, but there's a lot of guys that just really like this car. I think it might be a little bit set up, but I wouldn't put it on the drivers or the crew chiefs, setup-wise. Right now, I think it's just the drivers are overdriving it, and it's causing a problem. I think we saw it yesterday with WSU, just people overdriving over their head sometimes, and this is the result we get. I think these guys will calm down towards the end, and we should get green flag racing.
Yeah, matter of fact, I talked about that with Tim Terry on Facebook, and that was a very eventful race. And last night with the WSU, and I guess we're seeing the same thing here tonight with RSR with the Full Throttle Cup Series at Phoenix. And you don't know if it's the cars, you don't know if it's the drivers, if it's a new car and a new track and trying to hang on to the handling. One thing for certain, this race will continue until we get to lap 125. But obviously, you want to get a good green flag run in. You don't want it to be green caution as the lights go out the pace car. Michael Keaton, I will say, they did get about a good 20-plus lap run green flag in before the caution fell with the big wreck there in turn 1.
Yeah, and still out front, R.J. Williams elected not to pit. 6th in points right now, Wes. And how about this? Bob Earl Racing cockpit for him? Absolutely. That's part of his cockpit setup. The Bob Earl Racing chassis, virtual Mach 2 there, and of course R.J. Williams been racing since he was 10 online from Hickory, North Carolina, part of the Last Row Motorsports sponsored team, as he leads the field under pace and surfing in turn 3, Wes.
And the pace car will get ready to drop on to pit road. We'll get ready to go back for the restart. And what do you say we crank it up for you RSR style here from Phoenix on ETV Live, powered by HD Radio Network. And this is for you, J.D. Webb. Hope you enjoy this sound off, brother. sights and sounds of the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series at Phoenix on a sound off. Crank it up for you as we get back to racing here. Good hard racing going on now. It looks like Dwayne Vincent trying to run down the 11 of Jonathan Goodell and company. But for the moment, R.J. Williams driving. Thank you so much to our statistician for RSR, George Wood, driving the number of the champion last year, Landon Huffman, in the 75 car. Michael Keaton, he's out in front trying to make it two different winners for RSR for 2013.
Yeah, see if we can't get on board here with Dwayne Vincent to see exactly what me and George has been talking about. The way that Vincent is rolling through the center of turn 3. He's got that early braking point down pat. There you see him going in the back stretch into turn 3 here. Smooth entry. Very smooth entry for Dwayne Vincent as he's trying to run down Jonathan Goodell, just being smooth as possible. That's what it's like around here at one lap at Phoenix International Raceway.
Great times are happening here as, again, this racing action continues at Phoenix on ETV Live, the only choice in simulation auto racing broadcasting. Since 2008, ETV Live has pioneered and engineered over 600 broadcasts to over 300,000 listeners. And some of the best innovations in online auto sports broadcasting, period. The industry experts, they're ETV Live. It's the only choice. Visit them online at etv-eplay.net. And, of course, HD Radio Network, big thanks to them as well. And hope you're enjoying the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series tonight. Check them out with all the great broadcasting on ETV throughout the week. And Michael Keaton coming up on Saturday and Sunday, Fast Track Radio from Livonia Speedway. And the Late Model Mania. It should be great right here on ETV Live, powered by the HD Radio Network. A lot of great racing broadcasts coming up this week.
Just an update on the points leader. Mike Montesi running in the 12th position. A little bit of cosmetic damage to the front bumper of that machine, but he's working Matt Lacrosse for that 11th spot. Going to look underneath maybe in 3, but kind of backs out of it. Now C.J. LeVere underneath Mike Montesi, points leader, coming into tonight's race at Phoenix, Wes.
He's driving the Adidas car, the All Day I Dream About sports machine, number 20. And, of course, I would like to say something else. If it had an R, it would be a D-R, which might be All Day I Dream About racing. But anyhow, Mike Montesi, winner at Daytona in a caution eventful finish last week at the World Center of Racing. He went on to win that race, and nobody became a somebody right there. Mike Montesi, out of nowhere, shocked everybody. As Wally shocks us now, gets sideways out of turn 4, loops it almost. He gathers it back in, but he'll lose 4 spots, Michael Keaton, in that exchange. Man, I won't quit talking about this guy because it seems like the more we hype him up, something might happen to him.
Yeah, and you mentioned the race last week at Daytona did finish under caution, and John Abbott was within his race car number of beating him to the line there. John Abbott couldn't quite do it. 10 feet from being able to pass him for that lead, and Mike Montesi held on for the first race of the year to win at Daytona.
Racing continues on. We're talking about Mike Montesi. Now he's got Chris Schallenberger to his inside. They'll battle door to door into turn number 3 as we're working lap number 48. As, of course, right now, R.J. Williams is your man out in front. Goodell second, Vincent third, King fourth, Burnett 5. That's your top 5. The bottom 5. In 6th, well, we got a battle going on for the 5th spot. Ben Burnett now getting sideways. He's got some company. Chad Cole in the red and black number 8. Sneaking outside the top 5. He's in 6th, but he wants 5th. Steve Ritter, his wingman, Maverick and Goose running down him out of turn number 4.
Yep, Ben Burnett has been driving very defensively here against the 5th place, 6th place spot for the last couple of laps. Chad Cole working the back door bumper as that red and blue Chevrolet with a yellow bumper tries to give the bumper to Ben Burnett going into turn 3, but Ben's holding him off, holding on to that 5th spot.
And that's the sponsor car in the series, Ben Burnett in the 37 entry, and of course Chad Cole bumping and banging all over, trying to get by the iRacing ETV Live 37 machine. They are sponsoring Ben Burnett this year for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series, and he is trying to do all the likes he can to hold off another great challenger, the champion of the RSR Icebreaker Winter Series, Chad Cole. He's all over his back door one more time at a turn number 4. He slips a little bit, loses a little bit of ground, and this allows Ritter to close in on Cole's car. Now Cole shakes him off at the line. He'll try to reel him again back in turn 1, working lap 53.
Chad Cole now coming out of turn 2 with a good run, Wes. Down into the little dog leg in the back stretch. Can't quite get up to the back door. But now he exits and turns into turn 3. As the 37 slides up the track a little bit, allowing Chad Cole to once again get back onto the back bumper as they exit 4.
And I'm understanding from our statistician, George Wood, that Ed Williams Jr. is off the pace in the 65 car. Will still stay green. We're watching this battle between Burnett, Cole, and Ritter. Ritter's watching what he sees. He's ready to take it away like candy from a baby from these two as they exit into turn 3 and 4.
And that's one thing Ritter's, all he can do really right here is watch as the 8 machine of Chad Cole nearly gets sideways out of turn 4. Going into turn 1 now, Steve Ritter within about a car length, Chad Cole about a half a car length behind Burnett as the battle for the top 5 position wages on as 54 laps are complete.
And we're watching another battle beginning to heat up. Dwayne Vincent closing in on the interval. It's .921 seconds at the line, but believe it or not, faster and faster is coming. Dwayne Vincent now cut it down to .9. 8 is a little off on that one, but you can watch a couple of laps, Michael Keaton. Those 13, Dwayne Vincent, the Cobra, is lurking his prey, ready to strike and run down our leader, R.J. Williams. But Williams doing a great job in that 75 Chevrolet out in front, holding his line in the new Gen 6 car here for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series in Phoenix as we work lap 56.
If you remember last week at Daytona International Speedway, Dwayne Vincent led nearly almost every single lap and ran into a big problem. Finished 1 lap down. 18th spot, as good as he could get for that red-ass chassis work Chevrolet. And nearly ended his night with that wreck. Able to get past a couple of guys there at the end, Chad Cole, Steve Ritter, and Stephen Herring among many. But side by side, we're here in Dakota.
Yeah, guys, you guys were talking about that Chad Cole and Ben Burnett battle. I was watching this a little bit longer here, and Chad Cole has ran over Ben Burnett more than once, especially one time where Burnett kind of checked up the corner. They finally got side by side because Burnett got sideways out the corner. Burnett just drove it into the corner there. And use the outside, get back around Cole, and kind of just take off here a little bit again, guys.
It's one of those incidents, Dakota, where eventually Chad Cole or Steve Ritter or somebody's going to get impatient because it looks like Cole is the faster car, but he won't move out of the way. Mike Montesi now under attack with the 47 of the Navy Nuke Eric Arnold. Arnold's car on the outside lane. Mike Montesi's in turn number 3 trying to battle on the inside, and Eric Arnold, one of those unfortunate members that were caught in the big one last week at Daytona in the final laps of the race, Michael Keaton, and he's trying to turn things around for the driver in the 47 car here tonight at Phoenix.
So far, Mike Montesi has moved up the most out of all 42 drivers here tonight. Montesi starting in the 40th spot, has worked himself all the way up to 13th. He's battling with another car who's worked himself up quite a bit through the field, Eric Arnold, just making the pass on him finally. He went from 29th to now as 13th, as now the 45 of Kel Dresbach is starting to close in on that as he gets a little loose off forward and saves it.
And I understand drivers are starting to complain of loose issues on their car. Tied in, loose off the center. Dakota Airman, what's the update on pit road?
I'll tell you what, guys, we thought we were complaining about loose earlier. When these tires wear, they're wearing big time. It makes it extremely hard to get in. Like you said, they're having to back up the corners. The guys that have kind of figured it out is you have to back up the corners a lot going into the corner so you can rotate the centers. Cole's around with Burnett. 6th place. There goes. Yeah, Cole went to the inside. Couldn't spin Burnett around there. Couldn't quite hold it down there, guys.
I told you, Michael Keaton, it was coming down to this moment. They were fighting over it like it was the last piece of turkey on the Thanksgiving dinner table, and this is the outcome. Burnett and Cole fighting over and clawing. And in the end, Cole gets turned around, battling with Burnett for position. And guess who got that lucky break in all the action? Steve Ritter bumps up in front of them.
Absolutely, Ritter. I told you, all he had to do was just kind of be a little patient. Of course, it's going to pay off for him. And as you mentioned, Chad Cole and Ben Burnett getting together as you watch on the replay again, just an example of some guys going for the same piece of real estate, some expensive turn one real estate there, that is, as Ben Burnett's going to be okay, and Chad Cole is too, West. Neither one of them hardly any damage, and both staying off the wall.
Patience goes a long way if you drive that way, as we now come to halfway. I'm a poet, I didn't even know it. We're halfway through the race, and the halfway leader award goes lap 63 to the 75 of R.J. Williams, but they hit pit road. We'll mention Gary Mercer Trucking here in just a moment, but first, pit road, pit stops at halfway, and I think a lot of people were ready for this pit stop down to Dakota Ehrman.
Yeah, guys, and R.J. Williams picked up a lot of spots on pit road last time, so all eyes are on him and his crew again as he comes down. Left sides are now up on the machine. It's going to be 4 tires, no changes to the 75s. He's out of the way, and going to watch him coming off of pit road. Him and Dwayne Vincent going at it. He's going to beat out the Dwayne Vincent again, and Vincent's going to be extremely sideways coming off, splitting the tires a little bit. Maybe cost himself a little bit of time here, guys.
And I wonder if there might be a penalty. Did anybody go over the speed limit exiting off pit road? Right now, everybody looks good. And by the way, the lucky dog goes to Stephen Herron. He was the last car put a lap down by your leader, R.J. Williams. He will now get the wave around the pace car and now put, I believe, 30 cars on the lead lap, as now all the other machines and back marker traffic now come to pit road. And yes, with just that, 30 cars are now on the lead lap. And now your new leader is Ronnie Potts. He'll make the third different leader. Now he comes to pit road, so it'll cycle back around and give the lead back to R.J. Williams. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more just past halfway from Phoenix International Raceway. This is ETV Live, powered by the HD Radio Network. The leader in sim broadcasting now, R.J. Williams, back out in front as we get ready for the second half. It's as exciting as the first half. You viewers are getting your money's worth here tonight.
Ronnie Potts, I believe, gets a bonus point for leading the lap.
Hey dude, are you ready to rock and roll? If that's cool, then you need to do it over at HD Radio Network. HD Radio Network, 4 stations broadcasting 24/7 with everything from metal favorites to the 80s classic rock like legendary Leonard Skinner, Electric Light Orchestra, Foreigner, and bone-rattling, skull-crushing rock and roll on hard driving radio. Bear Factory, Stone Temple Pilots, Def Leppard, and a whole lot more. HDRadioNetwork.com. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Welcome back to Phoenix International Raceway, and just as fast as the green flag fell, Michael Keaton, we're under yellow flag again, buddy.
Absolutely, Wes. You know, and these guys having a much-needed pit stop. I believe that since we are a little bit past that halfway mark, that if it were to stay back green, I think we could finish under green and with the fuel in the tank, so we could have a little bit of a fiasco like the NASCAR world did last week or this past Sunday, where some of the guys started to run out of fuel, and Carl Edwards picking up that win. Much needed win for Carl. I was really anxious to see him do that backflip.
Absolutely, it was 70 races since the man out of Joplin, Missouri, Carl Edwards, went to victory lane, and he did just that on yesterday in Phoenix in the Subway car, driving in the Subway Fresh Fit 500. Define ironic if you want to talk about conspiracy, but he got it done. R.J. Williams is your leader. Jonathan Goodell second. Steve Ritter sitting in third. Dwayne Vincent fourth. And Mike King, how about a run, Mike, for him? He is doing great in the fifth spot, as he was kind of tussling and fighting for position earlier in the race. He's doing really good. And by the way, caution was on the wreck of Randall Watkins. J. Randall Watkins putting us under the caution flag. Now let's go down to pit road to Dakota Ehrman for what happened.
Yeah, guys, I was watching this, and I had to go back and find it. It was kind of hard to find, but it happened extremely quick, but it did happen. It was rather big. J. Randall Watkins, 27 car in 20th place, goes into the turn number 3, gets a little sideways. Again, this is on lap 66, and he comes up right in front of someone trying to stay off the inside. And I believe that was, I want to say, Adam Roberts. And Randall Watkins actually gets put on his roof and back over. Adam Roberts is going to lose a piece to his car. We do have that where we can lose pieces of the car now, which is kind of cool with this car. But and right to the middle of all this carnage, Chad Cole going around the slow car, right car on the inside, and then going to the middle around the car on the outside. That was right. That was a pretty cool move by Chad Cole to avoid the mayhem there, guys.
Absolutely, and of course, you know, we mentioned our halfway mark has been caught with, of course, the 75 machine out in front, leading the way. They came to halfway. R.J. Williams. Well, our halfway leader award for RSR is, of course, Gary Mercer Trucking. Dude, if your pickup is too small for the load, get a real truck to haul it. Sponsoring drivers in several of the iRacing official series, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated provides long and short haul options for hauling furniture, perishable items, and even refrigerated products, and a whole lot more. With storage facilities in the U.S. and even Canada, CTPAT approved and Fast Express drivers, Gary Mercer Trucking Inc. is the best choice to haul your load. Give the old pickup a rest. Call Gary Mercer Trucking toll-free at 800-668-2980 or check it out at gmercer.com. Michael Keaton, of course, it's the 75 of R.J. Williams, our halfway leader here in Race 2 of the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series at Phoenix.
And there's some heavy hitters out front here as Jonathan Goodell is going to start on the outside directly behind him in row 2, if you will. The 16, the CarMax Chevrolet of Steve Ritter. And, of course, Dwayne Vincent in the 13 going to start in the 4th spot. On the outside is the pace car, leads them 55 miles an hour into turn 4, getting ready for the green flag.
I think CarMax is saying, show me the Carfax, as they get ready to come back for the restart here. This time by out of turn number 4. Pace car drops onto pit road through the gearbox as they come out of the corner, and R.J. Williams sets sail. But here comes Ritter. He's looking for second on the inside of the machine of Cadell out of turn 2.
Good restart for the 75 of R.J. Williams. Couldn't get through the gears, though, as Jonathan Cadell, who stacked the field up quite some. But the 13 of Dwayne Vincent follows in pursuit as Steve Ritter follows to 4th.
And that battle goes on around the racetrack. Here comes that battle for the 10th spot. Matt Lacrosse under attack by the field. One machine getting sideways behind him. That's going to be, okay, 04 Mike King getting a little loose. He's got the 33 of David Lanza behind him. Schallenberger as well. And on the outside lane is the 4 of C.J. LeVere. LeVere now coming back to the field, Michael Keaton. 1 point, Dakota. You said he had mechanical problems. Now he's inside the top 5.
Yeah, and it is a miracle that he's up there. He's doing a fantastic job. It's just something you had to overcome. His team does a great job working on the machine. He's back up front and running well, guys.
doing a great job. Meanwhile, Schallenberger now under attack by Matt Lacrosse, and now Mike King drifts to the outside lane. He's got no help. Everybody rides to the bottom of the racetrack. Now here comes help. Montesi, he's sneaking in there. Michael Keaton into the top 10, or he's trying to make it happen. If he can get by Matt Lacrosse in the 21, he's in front of his rear deck lid in turn number 4.
Yep. Mike King, a while ago, Wes slipped up. The racetrack went high, allowed the 35 of Chris Schallenberger to go by, as well as David Lanza. And now he's got Matt Lacrosse on the back door. And then you see last week's winner at Daytona, Mike Montesi, now working underneath Matt Lacrosse as they exit turn 4 and nearly touch as they now separate single file down the front stretch.
Oh, yeah, they about touched. I wouldn't want to put my hands between that battle that just took in place. Lacrosse now under attack by machines of Mike Montesi and, of course, Kel Dresbach. And we've got caution on the Speedway problems on the racetrack. The slow reaction one more time. In 19th position, I believe it's going to be Jay Horton putting us under caution. He spins, collects Adam Roberts. So the 83 of Jay Horton, the 88 of Adam Roberts, put us at a yellow flag, number 6 here at Phoenix.
And the 2-car, Ronnie Potts, also involved. Of course, this happened right in front of Chad Cole. Chad Cole getting into the wall just a little bit. Also, in that mix of wreck was Guy Snyder in the 7-car, who's now missing a hood. And Wes, it kind of looked like Ronnie Potts, the 2 machine, just got into the left rear quarter panel of the 83 of Horton as they just sailed off into turn 2 there.
Yeah, watch your replay there is, of course, I don't think anybody will be coming to pit road. No, check that sight job on everybody. They're all coming to pit road. This could be what we call the money stop. Get your tanks full, get the new side of rubber on, and carry us home to the final 50 laps. Here comes Williams, Goodell, Vincent, Ritter, Burnett, Rivera, Lanza, Schallenberger, King, Lacrosse, all in the top 10 and then some. Money stop to pit road, Dakota Airman to call the final pit stop. What could be of the evening?
I don't think this will be the final pit stop at all. I think we'll see a few more, but how about R.J. Williams once again coming to a start, right side's going up, and about to go back down, crew getting to work, as it's now two tires, right side's only for R.J. Williams and the 75 machine getting off pit road pretty quickly. Gonna have no competition. It looks like the next car off pit road will be Eric Arnold, Jonathan Goodell. Actually, Goodell's gonna leave him off there. And how about Dwayne Vincent, who was running, I believe, 3rd, gonna go back to what should be 4th now, as long as nobody stays out in front.
If Eric Arnold came on to pit road 13th, he got 10 spots off the pit road. Michael Keaton, the Navy Nuke, now came off pit road 3rd. Behind Goodell, and in front of Goodell is R.J. Williams, in first and out first.
Now the idea and question is, what's John Abbott going to do? He's up here in 16th spot, ahead of the leaders on the lead lap, which should make him your... Actually, Eric Brundys is going to be your race leader, and John Abbott's going to be 2nd. As the pace lights are still on in turn 1, we should expect to see Eric Brundys come down pit road and pit, as well as Mr. Abbott. If not, one of those 2 guys are going to be your leader, and R.J. Williams is going to slip back.
And, of course, we're setting it up in the crosshairs now. We're down to the final, 50 laps or so, down to less than that, 125 laps here around the event here at Phoenix International Raceway. Don't forget, next stop, next Monday night, Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. Should be a good one, Michael Keaton. Always good racing at Vegas when we go there.
Oh, yeah. You know, Viva Las Vegas. These guys, I know, can't wait to get back to a track that kind of mimics, like a Michigan or a Kentucky or type race, with some banking. Get us back to some banking. Last week we saw Daytona, and this week we're
How much more banking do you need?
Well, they don't like flat tracks. Flat tracks are kind of hard to drive. We've already been told about the brakes here with the cars, turn 1, braking zone, striking again, so on and so on. And Vegas gives us, I think, about a 20, 25-degree banking racetrack, so it could give us some better racing results.
Absolutely. Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You're exactly right. Tomorrow, next Monday night, Full Throttle Cup Series, and the race for that Bob Earl Racing seat continues. 9:30 Eastern on ETV Live, powered by the HD Radio Network. Don't forget, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern is Fast Track Weekly Live on the road from Livonia Speedway in Livonia, Georgia, the return of Late Model Mania for the Fast Track Racing Series, the Ultimate Super Late Model Series, and the Southeastern Late Model Sportsman Series, which you will hear in its entirety this weekend, Saturday and Sunday on ETV Live in daytime format as the field comes back to the green flag, 7 o'clock. Fast Track Weekly Live, and it should be a great hour as we hype up Late Model Mania from Livonia. Lord, we got problems. Vincent's car gets in. Vincent's turned around. He collects the machine of Arnold. He collects LeVere. Montesi's involved. We were just talking about what a great run LeVere was making coming back to the field. And be doggone if he don't get caught in a wreck, Michael Keaton. Caution out again.
And you mimicked the Daytona wreck early on, Wes, and I think this one's got it topped, and there's a lot of heavy hitters involved in this one.
A lot of heavy hitters involved. Dwayne Vincent, I could notice on the tail end, the upper right of my screen, that the car got sideways, and when it did, all hell broke loose from there. Arnold's car collected. The Navy Nuke, he was right there in the hunt of things. And again, snake bit by the Cobra, of all people with nicknames. C.J. LeVere also caught up in it, involved. Montesi, I wonder if he's got any damage. I know he got caught up in it somehow or shape or form. And now, caution out over the speedway, once again, working lap 81 here of 125.
And Ritter doing a fine job staying to the outside and listening to a spotter, and he gets by okay. So Ritter's going to be in good position here. And that wreck happened right in front of him.
Ah, man, he said something goofy went on there, netcode or something. Vincent's car just stopped is what people are talking about down there. So it could have been a netcode issue, some kind of a problem with Dwayne Vincent's ride. And in doing so, that put us under yellow flag. Michael Keaton, again, let's go to pit road to Dakota Ehrman. As I understand, Jay Horton's now been waved around the pace car for the Lucky Dogs. Dakota Ehrman?
Yeah, guys, I just want to talk about what happened on this wreck, because I'm kind of looking at it, and I can kind of see where he's at. If you watch Dwayne Vincent go in the corner, he's closing on the 11. The 11 cuts down extremely fast, so he has to brake extremely hard. When he brakes really hard, he locks it up, he turns it around in front of the whole field. Not much he could do without, running over the 11 and turning him in front of the whole field. I think it was a lose-lose situation for Vincent. I think he did okay trying to handle that, and just maybe going into the corner too hard or something of the sort there, guys.
And in doing so, Goodell continued on in vain. Dwayne Vincent decided to open up a Waffle House, and they're smothered, scattered, and covered down there in turn number 1, Michael Keaton, which led to that big wreck. And I believe we've got somebody in the booth, the leader out in front. And R.J. Williams, how you doing, my friend? Eric Brundys, excuse me, in the 94 car. How's it feel to be out in front?
That's pretty good. I'm just going to try to hit my marks when it goes green here. Tires are only a couple laps old, but I don't know. We'll see what happens here.
Got some pretty big heavy hitters behind you. Williams, Abbott, Goodell. We got some hungry hitters as well, wanting to try to make a namesake. How's it? How are you going to be able to hold these guys off, man? And tell everybody about yourself. And man, good to see you out in front.
Thanks. We're pretty fast. I mean, we started second, and we got turned on the first lap. So I don't know. We're just going to try to hit our marks and hopefully do our best, and maybe get some tires if we get a chance here.
Absolutely. Keaton, you got anything for Mr. Brundys before we get ready for the restart?
Eric, we see a little bit of cosmetic damage to the front of that machine, maybe a tad bit to the left rear quarter panel. It doesn't seem to slow you up too much. As the crew okayed that damage?
Yeah, to be honest, I can't really feel anything, so I think we're okay with that.
All right, man, get back in the saddle again. It looks like we're getting ready to come for the restart. Out in front is Eric Brundys in that 94 car. They'll double them up side by side. Brundys and Williams, row 1. Abbott, Goodell, row 2. Ritter, Dresbach, row 3. Burdette, Cordino is in their top 8. That's row 4. Then Lanza, King, row 5. They punch the loud pedal to the inside as Brundys, as the pace car heads off of pit road. Green flag back in the air, and we're coming down to the end of it. Michael Keaton, less than We're working lap 85 now, coming up on less than 40 laps to go here at Phoenix, and this racing is really going to intensify, brother. I really believe that.
Well, if there's one thing for sure, Eric Brundy's isn't going to have to worry about his radiator getting hot. Wes, look at the front end of that machine, getting all the cooling that it needs as the bumper was taken off by the pit crew, and he is out front, but now being charged from underneath of the 75 machine as they go down in turn 2.
Absolutely, and of course, Brundy's now, getting some company as you got your new leader, 75. R.J. Williams gets by him, no problem at all. He might have clean air in front, but I'll tell you what, with that spoiler, that front end missing on that car, that hurts him aerodynamically. No matter shape or form you want to talk about it, and in doing so, that'll allow that 75 of R.J. Williams to easily pull out in front of him as they go back to the corner. We got problems. It looks like the 49 car has got an issue, and I think we're going back under yellow flag. Yes, we are. Yet again, Angelo Cordino. He got snake bit at Daytona, leading the race, and now he spins on the front stretch off of turn number 4, and the caution's out again. Pit road, Dakota Ehrman, he was right in front of you, brother.
Yeah, guys, was watching John Abbott going into the corner. He moves down, and looks like Abbott came with a run, and Cordino kind of checked up maybe a little bit, got turned around, going to stop right, he barely misses the barrels, but stop with the nose in the wall to pit road, or the pit road wall there, so he's just going to finally get turned around, have some field goes by, not really much damage done there, but John Abbott will take the accident, and we'll go the EOL, or get an EOL, go to the rear of the field, and Adam Roberts will get the lucky dog here, guys.
So we're under the caution flag again, caution field race, and we're on now in-car audio with the pit report with Eric Arnold. Eric, it sounds like everybody was jumping all over you. What was your take of the accident that happened there a moment ago with Dwayne Vincent and company?
Well, I'm sorry for Dwayne Vincent, but when I went into that turn, I laid off, and then all of a sudden, a bunch of cars was braking really hard, and I got ran into. So, I mean, nothing I could have done about it. I'm sorry for him. I'm really pissed right now that I got caught up in that, and I was driving smart.
Now, did you receive any penalty or anything like that because of it? Because I know you've been the bearer of getting bad luck sometimes throughout these last couple of seasons.
I got the cause of it because I was the first one to hit anybody, but like I said, there's nothing I could have done about it. If I knew they were going to check up like that and drive in like morons, I would have laid off.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, though, man, that 47 car looked strong before you got caught up in that incident. Can you rally back to the front?
I've been slower than a lot of guys today. I got up in the top 10 due to a 2-tire change, which really worked out for me. Though my car's still running fine. Got the repairs done, so if I get a chance and they go all in the pit and by close to the end, I'm gonna stay out and win this race.
Absolutely. Michael Keaton, that's the thoughts of the Navy Nuke, Eric Arnold, as, he says it wasn't his fault. Some kind of a netcode issue. I know that was being mentioned on Vincent's car, and then I guess he got given the penalty when it was all said and done. And right now, Eric Arnold sitting on the racetrack. Tough break. He's inside the top 20. I know that much in that 47 car. And he's in 29th, and of course, looks like Dwayne Vincent is up to 18th. And those are two of those guys pretty much involved in that big incident, Michael Keaton.
Yeah, and, going back to the pit stop here, that some of these guys came down and pitted, leaders staying out. The guys that came down to pit, like Eric Arnold, C.J. LeVere, Adam Roberts, some of these guys that's come down pit road to get some fresh rubber and gas, I mean, that's a smart decision. And with 35 to go on green flag, you're going to want tires. And I'll tell you what, I think the gambling's going to pay off for these guys that's running towards the back. I think we're going to get a late caution. It's going to send some guys down pit road, and like Eric Arnold mentioned, he's going to stay out and possibly crack the top 5, maybe get up to the lead.
And, of course, 35 or shorter than that left to go. Are you going to want tires? Are you going to want tires, Dakota Ehrman, as it comes down to the wire, brother?
I think it's going to depend on the amount of laps we have left. I think track position is all thing here. I think R.J. Williams proved that when he took 2 tires. He doesn't care where he comes out. And right now he's in a good spot when he takes his restart. Here is green flags out, guys.
And I got a question. How in the world did the 94 car of Eric Grundy stay in the second spot? I thought he had fell back 2 or 3 positions, but I've got, oh, wow, green flag back in the air. Nonetheless, we're back to it again. Here comes your leader, R.J. Williams, out in front. And Grundy's on attack by the machine of Jonathan Goodell on the inside of him in turn number 3. And here comes Steve Ritter. Gonna run for the CarMax 16 car tonight. And look who's behind him. Kel Dresbach. That's your top 5. They go back to 1.
Yeah, Williams is kind of checked out as the 94 and the 11 continue to battle it out here as Goodell on the outside, 94 down on the bottom, and Ritter trying to get up into the 4th and 3rd position as Kel Dresbach now cracks the top 5, and Lanza, who's up about 12 positions, has moved into 6th.
Absolutely, and I want to send a big shout out to John Wessling, our producer, engineer. Sometimes we have our words, and sometimes we all kind of, get a little ill with one another, and he works so very hard, folks. I cannot tell you how much that these broadcasts would not happen on ETV Live if it wasn't for the hard work of the Indianapolis, Indiana native of John Wessling, running the boards, doing what he does, and of course also our thoughts and prayers with J.D. Webb as he is back home recovering, but now it's solo for the producer spot for Dakota Ehrman, now stepping up being associate producer, but of course we could not make it happen, Michael Keaton. These broadcasts would not happen if it wasn't for the man with the servers, with the ability, with the technology, with the boards, like John Wessling has. His mothership in Indiana to keep ETV going, and we thank him for all he does as we are coming to the end of this thing, working lap 95. Mike King now under attack of the racetrack. As that continues, he's got Schallenberger in front of him, also the machine of, wow, look at this one, Ben Burnett back in the saddle again. It's Matt LaCrosse, a 4-car battle for position as they exit off turn 2, Michael.
Yeah, I've been watching this battle for quite some time. Again, the ETV-sponsored car, the 37 of Ben Burnett up high, the Schallenberger machine down low, racing side by side for about 7th position as Chris Schallenberger takes over down the first stretch, and they make contact! They make contact! Schallenberger gets turned to the wall. Burnett runs into him. He hits the outside wall, and it looks like that's all the cars that are going to be involved, and the yellow flag is out. Man, that was just stupid driving right there, Michael Keaton. These guys were just battling with one another. They bumped, they banged. He turned him right into the wall. Oh, man. I wonder if the penalty's coming for Ben Burnett. Well, the car that's hurt worse the most in that incident is going to be the 35 of Chris Schallenberger. The 37 of Ben Burnett's going to get a little bit of right front damage and a little left front damage, but nonetheless going to be okay. So Chris Schallenberger, though, from 7th all the way to about 20th there, Wes.
Watch it on the replay here one more time. I just want to see what happens. They come to the line, and it looked like, well, let's see here. I don't want to make a false statement. They're going almost 3 wide. Here we go. Schallenberger bounces off of Burnett's car. They come door to door down the straightaway. And Schallenberger, wow, he got into the 37. He hit him pretty good, too, right before they got to the stripe. And then in doing so, the 37 of Burnett clips the right rear quarter panel of Schallenberger's car, and into the wall he went. Wow. Is that a penalty, Michael Keaton? What do you think as we go to pit road to Dakota Ehrman? We'll get your thoughts after that. Let's go to pit road to Dakota Ehrman.
Yeah, guys, watching R.J. Williams again. He took 2 tires on the last stop. Do have a lot of focus on him. His crew very fast today and making the right calls. Now it's going to be a 4-tire stop for Mr. Williams this time as the left sides are up, down, and he's away, guys. We watch see if anybody can challenge him off pit road. Not quite. The next car off pit road will be Jonathan Goodell in 11th, then Chad Schilling, and I believe Eric Brunies and Steve Ritter, your top 5 on pit road, guys.
Williams and Goodell, 1 and 2. And of course, Michael Keaton, you've had a little couple of minutes to think about it. What do you think? You think it should be a penalty on either Burnett's car or even Schallenberger? I mean, that was, you'd want to say it was a racing deal, but then they kind of got into one another.
Yeah, an instance where the same piece of real estate, them guys were going for, and then you got to think someone was down there forcing a little bit of 3 wide, so you never know what the spotter says. He could have said 3 wide a little earlier. and then he thought that maybe I need to go up a little bit higher, and then you get into the the fender of somebody, and there you go, you're sent. But I want to go back to the man that we had a second ago up in the booth with us on the radio, Wes. Do you remember Eric Arnold? He said that he was going to stay out and get that track position. Well, everyone pitted for the most part, and Eric Arnold also pitted, and he's still 21st. So I wonder what the old Navy nuke's doing. I thought he was going to stay out and give us some, put himself back up front, but he has not. Now, some of the guys that stayed out, Dwayne Vincent now being shown first, the 5 of John Hanna Jr., second, Angelo Cordino, Joey Gattina, Guy Snyder, John Abbott, and I believe Jonathan Cadell is the first one up there on just right sides only in 7th. So I got to talk to old Eric Arnold, find out why he pitted.
I think that would be a great idea. Dakota Ehrman, what'd you say, buddy?
I think R.J. Williams got was put to the rear for speeding, or maybe came back down pit road. I'm not sure, but the 75 is in the rear after being the first car off pit road.
Commitment cone.
Wow, he hit the cone. He hit the commitment cone, and for that reason he got penalized.
Oh, buddy.
Big trouble, man. Having it, leading it, getting ready to win it, and gets burnt with 100 laps in. The century grind is on the board. 100 in, 25 laps to go as we get ready to come back for the restart. We'll cover a couple of laps for the green. If we have a caution, then we'll go back to commercial break, and if not, we'll take a final commercial break and take you to the finish for the final 20 laps of racing. As here comes the field, ready to come back for the restart. Vincent, Hanna, row 1. Cordino, Katina, row 2. Snyder, Abbott, row 3, Goodell, Schilling, row 4, Ritter, Brundles, your top 10. Through the gearboxes, green flag goes back in the air, and involved in a wreck in the early going, Michael Keaton, the Cobra strikes again. Dwayne Vincent's out in front on turn 2.
Let's see if he's going to play his cards right with 25 laps to go, Wes, in the backstretch. Vincent to about an 8-9 car length lead as John Hanna Jr. is running second.
So Vincent jumps out in front. Wow, look at this battle for 9th spot. Steve Ritter is under a hornet's nest. He's got 10 cars all battling with him. From Ritter, King, Brundles. Oh yeah, Cole, Roth, Lacrosse, Montesi, Jet, North, they're all going at it. It's a traffic jam all over the racetrack. Meanwhile, here comes Montesi. Where at Daytona, goes into the grass. He gets sideways. We will still stay under the green flag, it looks like, and the caution's out. He spins. So the caution's out, Michael Keaton, and it's on the 20 of Mike Montesi, as I said, off turn 2.
Yeah, he came to a complete stop right there on the rumble strip, and the caution has come out. So Mike Montesi, last week's winner at Daytona, as you mentioned, has brought us back under caution with a little under 25 laps to go, Wes. And the man out front who's paying off the dividend right now is the 13, Dwayne Vincent, the snake.
The Cobra. He's reaping all the benefits right now.
You know what, too, Wes? If I'm Dwayne, I'm thinking, the guys behind me, the guys beside me, like the 5 there that you see, John Hanna Jr., he's not on 4 fresh tires. So he's got about 5 to 6 guys back behind him, all the way back to Goodell, who's now in the 6th spot or 5th spot now at the line. Those guys are all on old tires, so Vincent's got some breathing room here.
Dakota Ehrman, what are they saying? Anybody pitting, or are they ready to go flag to flag for the checkers?
I don't think we'll see really see anybody come down here. A few guys in the back coming down, but not many guys that are running up front. You can't really pit now because you're going to lose track position. Track position is everything at Phoenix International Raceway, and I think we're kind of showing that here with a lot of the guys staying out. Dwayne Vincent being up front with a little bit of a damaged race car.
So 20 laps to go. When they cycle back around, we'll get ready for the restart and take you to the finish from Phoenix International Raceway. This is ETV Live, powered by the HD Radio Network. 105 laps will be on the board this time by Vincent, Hanna, Cordino, Snyder, Goodell, your top 5. Flag to flag to the finish after this word. I'm the leader in sim broadcasting. to the green flag of the final shootout time. Less than 18 laps to go or so. Back here on ETV Live, Wesley Outley and Michael Keaton in the booth, and on pit road, Dakota Ehrman. Vincent jumping out in front one more time. Cordino in the second spot. John Henna Jr. third, followed by Guy Snyder the fourth. Steve Ritter, your top five. And Michael Keaton, some names that are trying to make a name for themselves in RSR, now having a chance to do so in the front of the pack. And some names we haven't seen at the front in the past recently, now back up in the front now coming to the finish of this race.
Yeah, look at the 8th position car, the 14 of Joey Katina. Moving up as cautions back out on the raceway at Phoenix.
Problems. Doug Roth in the 43 car has popped the outside retaining wall, and in doing so, he has spun the STP colors of the Stroker Races race team around. And Dakota Ehrman, you saw that right up close, buddy. What happened?
It just looked like somebody ran into trouble there, guys, and I'm trying to actually, process what just happened, but I'm watching it, and looks like, I don't know, maybe he just trying to get a better view of this. Looks like he just came off the corner and came down like he was loose and got turned.
Lanza got loose in front of Doug Roth, Dakota Ehrman, and that's what they're saying. That's what got that 43 Chevrolet loose and into the wall, and he's in front of you now on front of pit road.
Yeah, you guys are obviously going to put 4 tires on it and just try to get it fixed as much as they can. And hope that the toe wasn't too knocked out as they're trying to survey the car. He's definitely going to go a lap down here, so they might hold him for a little bit to try to fix as much as they can before they put him back out there, guys.
Here reports, Wes, that the 7 machine of Guy Snyder, I saw that on my monitor as well, as they were still green flag racing as the caution came out, so to speak. The 7 car of Guy Snyder got into the wall pretty hard there. Gotten to the left or the passenger side of the 11 of Goodell. So this is going to be interesting if these 2 cars aren't up to speed as we go back green with less than 15 to go.
Yeah, it's going to definitely set us up for a wild shootout, so to speak, as it comes down to the end of this thing, and it's going to come down bottom line, just like in real racing. Who wants it more? Dwayne Vincent, he's due. He wants a victory for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series, wanting to break through in victory lane. Mike Montesi, winner at Daytona last week, he's 19th. He's still got a shot to go in there and make something happen. It's a long shot, but Michael Keaton, there's still a shot to happen here. But how about redemption for the Adidas Detroit Red Wings number 49 of Angelo Cordino? Remember at Daytona last week, leading the way, going through lap traffic, uses a hot dog between the bun. He got turned into the outside wall down the super stretch, destroyed his car, and took his chances out of winning the Great American Sim race. Michael Keaton, he sits in the 2nd spot when we come for this restart with less than 13 to go.
And how about a ride for John Hanna Jr. up in that 3rd position right now in the 5 Chevrolet that you see in the purple colors, the black on the front. Good run for him tonight, as we know last week at Daytona finishing 36 wasn't quite the finish that Hanna Jr. had in mind, but tonight, Phoenix, the 1 mile, hardly any banking desert racetrack, things could turn around for him in the 2013 Full Throttle Cup Series sponsored by the Bob Earl Racing.
As we come to the end of this broadcast, we'd like to remind you that tonight's broadcast on ETV Live, powered by the HD Radio Network, is from the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series, RealSimRacing.com. Solely for the private, non-commercial use of our listening audience, any publication, reproduction of the accounts used in tonight's event, without the express written consent of John Abbott with Real Sim Racing, John Wesleyan and J.D. Webb with ETV Live, and Phil Foltz with the HD Radio Network, is restricted and prohibited. They are copyright federal law 2013. As we get ready to come for the restart, less than 13 laps to go, Michael Keaton, Vincent, the Cobra, trying to pull the upset is the man in 2nd, Cordino. John Hanna Jr., he sits in 3rd in the 5 car, and Steve Ritter, last time he went to victory lane, was at Richmond of last year in September. Will he break through? Great pages of racing history are about to be written with less than 13 laps to go as they come to the line. Will we have another caution flag? Will we go flag to flag to the end? We'll find it out now as the green flag goes back in the air. Vincent, Cordino, Hanna, Ritter, and company dive off into turn 1.
Front 2, single file, the third spot of Steve Ritter, not so much as they go.
Wall, guy side of the 4th, hits the outside retaining wall, bounces it up big time off the barrier in the pits. And he also collected the 14 machine of Joey Katina. Katina's car got caught up in it, and just as fast as we went back to green flag, yellow flag out again, and it looks like also, oh man, the 15, Rhett McBride also caught up in it, Michael Keaton, and with less than 10 laps to go, we will try one more time at a finish of this race as yellow's out again. Caution is out, cars are on pit road, and Dakota Ehrman, you got an update for us on that last incident.
Yeah, guys, the biggest thing I do want to talk about is was the 11 and the 7, the 7 at Guy Snyder. When they got together, they were a big part of the wreck. It was netcode that put the 7 in the wall there, so that wasn't all drivers. That was a lot of netcode, actually, from what I can see there, guys.
And I know one thing for certain. Of course, you know, we're talking about netcode, and that is our racing simulation talk for an internet issue, a technical issue with their internet. Of course, you got to remember, these iRacing servers, we have drivers from all over the country, and you have to have your internet working correctly. That was one of the doubts that I had, and more. You're exactly right. So in doing so, now Dakota, you live in an area where some of the internet was acting up today. So if your internet acts up, what can happen with your iRacing server when it's doing just that, Dakota, as we do have cars on pit road?
Netcode, actually, it's not more of it's not more internet. I mean, you'll have lag issue if you don't have a proper connection, or if you're having troubles in your area. Maybe somebody else, you know, might be on a computer or something on YouTube or something. But netcode is more of it's the sim trying to predict where you're going to go. So if it thinks you're going to go up, and if for some reason it predicts wrong, and it thinks you're somewhere you're not, and you make contact, that's obviously it's still going to do it, even if you're not there. It's something we can't really deal with. The iRacing's done a fantastic job of making it not quite a big deal. I mean, on a lot of the old games that I can remember, it used to be terrible. And I've talked to a lot of guys, and they said iRacing does a fantastic job of trying to keep this a small deal and not much to it. But we do still get it, and it's unfortunate, but it doesn't happen as much as it could.
Just one of those tongue-tied. Just one of those well, there I go again. Just one of those incidents, Michael Keaton, where just wrong place, wrong time, things happen, and that was the outcome of it just a moment ago.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Wes, you know, it took a lot of good drivers out right there, drivers that haven't quite been up running in the front as of late too. So it kind of hurts a lot of people. At the same time, it allows the door to open up for some other guys to come up here towards the front as get ready to go back green next time by.
1 to go indication is now being said by race control here at the RSR, as it will be less than 9, there'll be 8 lap shootout. Maybe more than that. John Hanna, what a great run for him in the 5 car. He started 21st, he's 4th.
Yeah, John Hanna Jr., Steve Ritter as well, so Angelo Cordino, good run for him. And also up there in the mix in the 7th position, David Lanza, 10 spots up from where he started in 17th. I think this is still anybody's race here. I don't think Dwayne Vincent's completely wrapped it up here, Wes, but if we were to see a caution within the next 2 to 3 laps, could end under caution, and Dwayne could have himself a Phoenix victory.
Coming down to the wire, who you riding with? Don't forget, ETV Live, powered by the HD Radio Network, racetrack coverage, whether simulation to reality, sim races all week long. Fast Track Weekly live tomorrow night from Livonia Speedway, getting ready for Late Model Mania in Georgia. And Saturday and Sunday, Late Model Mania on Fast Track Radio Network, live from Livonia Speedway, the leader. As we come back to the green flag, it's Dwayne Vincent, Cordino, and where in the world does Steve Ritter come from? 2 cars, we got contact, 11 goes around, that's going to be by Jonathan Goodell, and the caution flag not out yet. It's not out yet. He's still spinning wildly in the infield grass, and now I believe the caution flag will come out, Michael Keaton.
That's a tough break. Tough break for Jonathan Goodell.
No caution. Caution. They're saying no caution. We're going to try to take this thing all the way to the end. Less than 6 laps to go. Goodell was in the bottom of the grass. He was out of harm's way. We are still standing with the green flag, and that allows Dwayne Vincent out in front. Cordino in second. Snake Pit at Daytona, like I mentioned, leading in the mid-going of the race. Took it out by lap cars. He's regained himself back for second. And, yeah, you're exactly right. The flagman's arm has gone south for the winner. It is a great race between these guys. Have at it. Less than 5 to go. No, flagman got tired. He wanted to throw the yellow again. As the caution's out, Michael Keaton, as we got problems. Was it Matt LaCrosse in the 21 that cost it? Lanza's car.
Lanza, Wes. David Lanza.
David Lanza's car, the cause of the caution, and the yellow flag is out again. David Lanza's car, the 33, the cause of the caution, and the yellow is out again. Michael Keaton, I've lost count how many times the caution flags came out. Yellow hanky out again for Lanza, that 33 car.
Yeah, I have too, Wes, and another guy involved in that wreck that I'm just now getting my monitor rewound back to see is Cale Dresbach, who was running in the 12th position. And then, of course, Eric Arnold also involved, and the 20 of Mike Montesi, the 21 of Matt LaCrosse. So that was a pretty big wreck, although no cars going around, just a lot of heavy banging.
Absolutely. Coming down to the wire here is Dakota Ehrman, you are the strategist, meteorologist of if the race will stay green again or not. Can we get this race in, or will we, for the second week in a row, finish under the yellow hanky? And by the way, the record has just been given to me, 14 cautions for 53 laps. More yellow flag laps, it seems, but yeah, they race more laps under green. But 14 cautions of 53 laps. Michael Keaton, that is a lot. But Dakota Ehrman, can we get this race to the finish, buddy? Or are they going to call it off from here?
Guys, I think we will go back green flag racing, and I'm not sure. I didn't actually write down when we went caution out, but I'm going to go back and try to see this. But I do believe we will actually get going. It was lap 121, so I think we'll be cutting it close, about a 1 or 2 lap shootout here, guys. Yeah. So we'll have about a 1 or 2 lap shootout here. I do believe, but we will go back green flag racing. And I think once we cross the line for the white flag, there will be no more cautions. That is the rule in iRacing, because no more cautions after the white flag. If, however, we get a caution before the white flag, it will be over.
You're exactly right. Coming down to the finish of this deal. Man, what a race, Michael Keaton. I'm telling you what. This is going to be eventful. And can Cordino pull the upset? Again, Vincent's got a strong car. Cordino looks like he's had a good running car. But Michael Keaton, we're forgetting about another guy, Steve Ritter, and even John Hanna Jr. at that. They're doing a great job. And look who's rallied back from the penalty with the cone on pit road with less than 40 laps to go. And he's back up to 5th. R.J. Williams, Michael.
Yeah, impressive work by R.J. Williams to get that Chevrolet back up to the front. But here's some other impressive fact here for you. The 25 machine, Chad Schilling, who's been shown 6th, all the way from 32nd, son. Rich Jett also putting on a clinic here tonight, coming from 27th all the way up to 8th position now. So some of these guys put on a clinic.
Down to the wire, lights off on the pace car, and this has just been in. Eric Arnold is disqualified. Michael Keaton, Eric Arnold, the Navy Nuke, DQ'd. We'll have to send Dakota Ehrman down on pit road to get the story on that.
He was running 11th, too, pacing under yellow there, Wes, so that's going to be interesting.
And now they're saying he is DQ'd. Michael Keaton, it will be a 1-lap shootout. a one-lap shootout. Believe it or not, it's all come down to this, a one-lap shootout. Flagmen will have the green and the white flag in the air at the same time, and when they circle back around, they will take the checker. Here comes the field. Out of turn 4, pace car is in. Dwayne Vincent punches the loud pedal. One lap to get it done here at Phoenix. Michael Keatner dive off into turn 1.
What an excellent restart there for Dwayne Vincent as he pulls the crew into turn 2. Cordino in second on the backstretch. Steve Ritter down to the auto leg underneath. He tagged Cordino, but they stay side by side.
Ritter plows almost into the outside wall. He collects mini cars. He gets plowed by the 11 machine. Goodell is also in a fireball. Hits Stephen Harrington at the checkered flag. Dwayne Vincent wins at Phoenix. Cordino second. Williams third, and they're wrecking behind him in turn 3 and 4.
Wow. You know, all I can say right now is just wow. What a finish.
What a race. Let's go down to pit road. Dakota Ehrman, what a show, man. What a race.
Yeah, guys, and I did go back to try to see what happened to Arnold, and I do believe Arnold actually had a problem. I think after the wreck, he might have, he possibly either got up to talk to the driver and was a little upset, and they might have disqualified him due to, you know, past incidents or, you know, probably some incidents racking up there or something of the sort, but I can't quite tell you for sure exactly what happened. I just know he was involved in the last caution for that. But we do have Dwayne Vincent up in the broadcast booth now, or on the radio there after winning the race there, Keaton.
Yep, the man Dwayne Vincent getting it done in dramatic fashion. Dwayne, this one finished under the green flag. Tell us about the last couple of laps.
Man, that was nerve-wracking. My car couldn't take many more of those, man.
I tell you what, Dwayne, you know, for a moment we thought that you were out of the race. You remember late into the race you got involved with that wreck, and then you made a good pit strategy, I guess, by staying out, and then it paid dividends for you. You got out to the front and first, and you pretty much stayed there for the remainder last portion of the race, and of course picking up the checkered flag in green flag condition, like you mentioned, the good jump there on the restart. Man, crew really made their money tonight, didn't they?
Yeah, man. When I stayed out like that, I really didn't have a choice. It was so far back in the field, it's so hard to pass. I had all my damage fixed and didn't have that many laps on the tires. I said, well, I've got to stay out. And in the history of this league, I hate to say it, but late in the race like that, when they start having caution, they're just one after another, and it worked out. I was nervous.
So Dwayne, talk to us just briefly about the new car here tonight at Phoenix International Raceway. A real hard, difficult racetrack, if you ask for my opinion. I mean, this is a track that doesn't have much banking, pretty a flat track, but the cars seem to be getting good traction around the track.
Yeah, the car feels great. It really does. This track is tough. With 43 cars, I knew it was going to be like this, man. And but I love the Gen 6. It's what we expected.
And Dwayne, last week at Daytona, not quite the finish that you wanted, but I'll tell you what, starting on the pole tonight, winning tonight, looks like a rebound.
Yeah,
your sponsors for us.
Yeah, I needed this, man, after last week. I want to say I hate to see what happened to my teammate, Mike Skinner. He, for some reason, couldn't join the race. He'd have been on the pole, and he'd have probably won this thing. He was really, really fast. But I want to thank Ray Skins for doing all our paint jobs, Bob Earl for sponsoring this stuff, RSR for everything they do. I know those guys have to put up with a lot of stuff, man, to make this happen. And all you guys at ETV, we really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dwayne. Again, that was Dwayne Vincent, the 13 Chevrolet, who put her on the pole tonight and put her in victory lane. We'll go talk to Angelo Cordino and R.J. Williams after the commercial break. You're watching the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series post-race show.
and welcome back to Phoenix International Raceway with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series post-race show here. I'm Dakota Herman, joined by Michael Keaton here, but going to go ahead and talk to R.J. Williams, driver of the 75, who finished in 3rd position. R.J., man, you did a fantastic job coming back to the field, I believe, after a speeding penalty, and you're in the champion's number and drove like a champ today. Talking about that a little bit also.
Well, I missed a commitment cone there, that stop where I got the penalty, so that's what dropped me back to the end of the longest line. Spotter Landon, champion last season, trying to run the number, make it number 2 for the old 75 here in the Real Sim, trying to make it undefeated. But Mr. Rex, luckily, that was the key thing, but made it through there and wound up 3rd, luckily. So I'm very happy with that. Good points there. I think I led the most laps as well, so bonus points are always good.
And RJ, how you feeling about going into next week at Las Vegas?
You can expect the same performance without the penalty.
All right, and we heard you say Landon was on the spotter stand for you tonight. What did he have to say after the race? And you know what his comments were on your performance, and what would you rate your performance today?
I'd give it a B+ if I did not make that mistake. Getting on the pit road, and it seemed as though I wasn't getting to the turns quite as hard, but I was eating them up off. But I'll take that any day at Phoenix, eating them up off the turn. Like a good spotter, Landon told me good job, driver, as he always does. So kept me calm there after that penalty. You know, just told me I had enough time to work my way up there, and luckily the cautions fell and the wrecks happened where they need to happen.
All right, finally, who makes that happen for you here?
Take all my buddies down there with hashtag. Part of Hollywood Motorsports, so I got them some points. I don't think Mark made the race, but I got them some points. I'm using the Bob Earl Racing chassis. Finished 3rd in my Bob Earl Racing chassis. I'd like to thank Bob Earl for building such wonderful equipment here. Love it. And Sim Seats for sponsoring Landon, of course. And then Last Road Motorsports, my A-car team.
All right, now you have from your 3rd place finisher tonight, R.J. Williams, rallying back from a pit road violation and put in the rear, but came back to 3rd, like I said. But now to Keaton with Angelo Cordino.
Absolutely, and Angelo, we heard R.J. Williams rate his report card B+. Man, you got to rate yours an A+. Last week at Daytona, finished 42nd, and then a heck of a rebound, I guess up 40 spots, if you will, up to 2nd tonight at Phoenix.
Yeah, baby.
Well, rate that Red Wing Chevrolet, Angelo.
Oh, yeah, that's an A++, because I don't think I've ever even finished in the top 10 at Phoenix in like 15 years, so I'm happy as hell. Qualified, I had to qualify to make the race, and then to come in a top 5, I'm happy.
Yeah, and of course, Angelo, towards the end there, we kind of seen what I like to call every week that hockey analogy, the gloves coming off of everybody. I mean, all the drivers, they just started to throw them off, and it looked like a fiasco out there, and you survived. You survived.
Yeah. Yeah, this track, if you have to practice. There's no doubt about it, because at any time, without warning, your car can just get sideways. So, I mean, you really got to, feather the throttle and be lucky.
All right, Angelo, now let's talk since you've rebounded so good here from 42nd to 2nd tonight at Phoenix, is it too early still? I know we go to Las Vegas next week. Tell us about that first off. Tell us about how you're gonna, your performance for Vegas, how you set or think that you're going to do there, and then maybe a chance at running for that Bob Earl cockpit at the end of the year.
Oh, hey, Vegas, it's always been good to me. Hopefully I can finish well there, and I don't even know what the Bob Earl thing is, so I'll have to look into that. I just want to finish getting to the top 33 for these first few races.
Well, the Bob Earl, Angelo, real quick, and just to go ahead and let the fans know again, last year Landon Huffman, the 2012 Full Throttle Cup Series champion, took home the grand prize, which was a cockpit that's designed by Bob Earl Racing that you can check out at bobearlracing.com. And what it is, Angelo, it's a cockpit. I mean, it's just like a race car, except it's for your home. You know all about that. You know what that is. And you have a chance to win it for free if you can win this championship. So might be something worth digging week in, week out for. And finishing 2nd at Phoenix, you got a pretty good shot at Vegas. So there you have it.
Yeah, I'll have to qualify in for Vegas too, so lots of practice laps. I'll be ready to go next week.
And Angelo, last but not least, who makes it happen for you week in, week out?
Labatt Blue Light and the Detroit Red Wings. Hey, did you catch that game against the Blackhawks the other day?
Did they win it?
No, but it was a very good
beat the
game.
Hawks?
They lost in a shootout, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, a shootout's just 1 point. Oh, they get a point for the shootout, so.
Yeah,
That's a B+.
Wanted to be the team to break their streak, but they tied it with a couple minutes to go, like they have been all year.
Well, nonetheless, I guess rate the Detroit Red Wings with an overtime loss with 1 point, B+, but give Angelo Cordino an A+ for tonight's effort. Angelo, good job tonight, sir.
Yep. Yeah, thank you. A++ tonight. See you guys.
See, and of course, that was your second place finisher, Angelo Cordino, bouncing back from a 42nd place finish last week at Daytona. Next week, we go to Las Vegas, but real quick before we go, going to give you guys an update on what ETV Live 2013 lineup holds. Monday night, 9:30, Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, sponsored by Bob Earl Racing. You saw that tonight. Next week's Vegas. Tuesday night, tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, ETV Live Team Series Racing, sponsored by the HD Radio Network. Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, the Maritime iRacing League Short Track Racing with Tim Terry's group out of Eastern Canada. Thursday night, 9:30, Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series, sponsored by Inside Sim Racing TV. And on Friday night, 9:30, the Super Speedway Cup Series. You can catch it all on the ETV Live-eplay.net, powered by the HD Radio Network. For me, Mike Keaton, Wesley Outland, George Wood, Dakota Ehrman, John Westland, Jerry Wolf, Phil, and JD, who's recovering at home, we'll see you next week. And we'll see you tomorrow night.